So let's get right to it. If you're building solo, bouncing between Swift UI, Xcode, Claude Code, Cursor, maybe even training your own OSS model, you know how wild it's gotten lately. One day you're head down in code, the next, you're staring at a wall of new AI features, skills, MCP, sub agents, or if you're like me, you're deep in the fine tuning rabbit hole, building up your own little Notion powered training set just to keep control of your workflow. I'll be real, sometimes it feels like every new tool is another distraction, not a solution. But what I've figured out, mostly by shipping, failing, and then rebuilding my own stack, is that each of these options really shines in a specific part of solo dev life. So if you're feeling stuck trying to pick your path, let's break it down. Just real quick, I'm Daniel. Been living in the iOS trenches for, over 8 years now. Started off freelancing, working with clients, figuring out what actually works and what just burns you out. But after Dub 25, I kind of flipped the switch and went all in on solo dev life. Since then, I've shipped a bunch of my own apps, started putting everything out there in public, and honestly, these days pretty much all my energy is going into Crafters Lab. And yeah, it isn't just another tutorial site or another AI clone farm. This is my actual home base for solo devs who treat AI like a real teammate, not just a vending machine. And yeah, I'm in it literally every day and building, tweaking, breaking stuff, just seeing what sticks. And yeah, if you're a part of the Patreon crew, huge thanks and heads up, everything's moving over to crafterslab.dev. And honestly, if you want to get in as an early member and lock in your membership, now's kind of the sweet spot. All right, first up, skills, MCPs, subagents. On paper, they all sound kind of similar, right? But when you're actually building, the differences show up quick. Skills are the new hotness if you just want your agent to quietly do the right thing without having to remember some arcane slash command. You give your agent a direction, it picks up the right skill, it's modular, super context efficient, and honestly, if you're into repeatable workflows, it can feel like finally having a plugin system that doesn't bloat your session. I like how you can layer metadata, instructions, and resources, and your agent knows what to pull when. But if you need external integrations, say fetching data from your backend or pinging your Notion database for app ideas, that's where MCP comes in. Think of MCP as a bridge between your code and the outside world. But the catch is, it can blow up your context window fast. Every server you spin up gets loaded. So unless you're careful, you'll end up running into why is my agent so slow today territory. Now, sub agents, these are honestly a lifesaver for keeping your context clean. You can parallelize your workflow, split off gnarly refactors or tests, and just let those sub agents chew through isolated problems. The only catch? They don't persist context, so if you want history, you're out of luck. But if you ever wished you could clone yourself for a night and ship 3 features at once, this is the closest you'll get. The bottom line, they're all different flavors of make the agent do what I want, but how you use them is what matters. So here's where I went a little off script. I spent hours testing skills, building up my own MCP integrations, running sessions with sub-agents and slash commands, and it all works until it doesn't. The second a tool shifts pricing, looking at Cursor, or the context window suddenly resets, or I'm blocked by some obscure edge case, I hit a wall, that's when I started asking, why not just train my own? I've got this Notion team space called Swift Brain. It's not just for random notes, it's structured, it's got my best Swift snippets, design patterns, UI quirks, even past code reviews. All that turned into my own training set for open source models. And yeah, it's work. You need to curate, you need to clean, you need to actually care about what you're feeding your agent. But the control you get, game changer. Suddenly the model knows my style. It respects my always use struct unless you absolutely need a class rule. It follows my SLC mindset. I'm not fighting upstream against a generic AI anymore. I've got a sidekick who's learned my weird indie dev rituals. If you're tired of feeling like you're always at the mercy of some new pricing change or surprise update, running your own OSS model, even just locally for drafts and patterns, is kind of a breath of fresh air. My workflow feels more stable, and honestly, it's more fun. Now, the part nobody tells you, each of these tools is best when you use them for what they're good at, not as a hammer for every nail. Skills are killer for automatic behavior. Little things like enforcing style, running code checks, extracting data, cleaning up Swift-lint errors, stuff that you want triggered by your agent as you work. They're modular, easy to update, and honestly, if you like having reusable little helpers, you'll love this. MCP is your friend when you're integrating with the outside world, fetching docs, pulling analytics, automating all those, oh crap, did I update that Notion page? Chores, but it will eat your context if you're not careful, so I use it sparingly. Sub-agents are for heavy, parallel tasks, batch fixing tests, running multiple code reviews at once, splitting big features across isolated mini-me's. If you ever felt the burnout of context switching, spinning up a sub-agent is instant relief, but just remember, what happens in a sub-agent stays there. Don't expect a perfect memory. And yeah, fine-tuned OSS models. For me, this is the closest I get to having an agentic workflow that feels truly mine. It's not just about privacy or cost. It's about being able to iterate on my model, steer it, and keep my dev rituals alive, no matter what happens to external tools. Where does it break down? If you're in a hurry and just need something done right now, skills and sub-agents are faster. Fine-tuning your own model, it's a craft, but one that pays off the longer you invest in it. All right, so if you're still here after all that, seriously, you are a legend. I appreciate you sticking around for real. And honestly, if anything I said tonight resonated with you even a little, you should check out crafterslab.dev. I mean, look, it's packed with everything I wish I'd had when I started out. There's a Discord, super chill, honestly, the best way to stay accountable, swap stories, and see a little clearer through the solo dev fog. There's a whole stack of resources in the pipeline too, like app blueprints, Figma foundations, growth insight, and all those little, wait, I needed this last week moments. But the real secret sauce is the Notion workspace with dedicated team spaces. There's the playbook, which is basically my live command center. That's where I plan apps, write docs, and actually show the messy behind the scenes stuff, not just the polished bits. Then there's Swift Brain. This is my personal curated Swift and Swift UI library. And it's honestly where I stash every deep dive resource I use to train and fine tune models like Mistral. And the newest one, OpsLab, that's where I'm building and sharing all my agent systems, the Notion setups, the workflows, the automations that keep everything running when you're building solo. Put it all together, and you get what I call Crafter OS. Yeah, it's this evolving operating system for solo developers who treat AI like part of the team, not just a fancy button to press. I'm still refining it, still experimenting, but honestly, that's the fun of it. So if you want to get in as an early member and lock in your price, now is kind of the sweet spot, no joke. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. If you made it to the end, drop a comment, say, hey, share your story. I really do try to reply to everyone, and just keep building, keep refining your own weird little workflow, and don't forget, solo doesn't have to mean alone. Peace.